Hello. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. We are live, back with our Sunday night Energy Healing Lives. And I'm so excited to be here. And what's been going on lately? Done a lot of traveling. We are wrapping up our retreat season. And if you haven't been on a retreat with us, then you'll have to wait till the upcoming January. And we'll do some local retreats in Kansas City coming up. But I have been waist deep in a good way in this hormone healing that I have been teaching. So I have an I Am Woman course going right now, and we're learning all of things feminine energy and female body healing. And it's completely swept me off my feet in a good way. And I want to talk about tonight how hormones literally start in your head. And we're going to, in these Sunday nights, when I'm teaching a functional medicine concept or anything related to your body, your life, your healing, we're going to break it down energetically. And then we'll do some teaching, a little bit of a healing together, and then I'll do some readings at the end. So it's so good to see familiar faces coming back on. It's literally been a minute, and it is my intention to rebuild this community. So I will be here tonight. And I will most likely, as long as I get myself packed, be here next week on Sunday. And then I'll be gone the following week in Tulum for Sarah Jinx's Priestess Mastermind. Really excited about all the energy and business that's going to take place. So I'm like, we're gonna rebuild this community. I've literally been gone for a couple months, and it's time that we remember who we are energetically and we tap back in. And I like to keep this is a way that I can serve energetically and give readings when really I'm in my brain all day looking at labs and going through either functional medicine protocols or business plans with people. But this weekend has been really nice. Jeff and I just stayed home. I'm trying to think what we even did. Friday night I got a massage. This weekend was really cool for us. We always eat out. It's like a treat for us to not cook. But this weekend we were both we're not feeling that. We didn't even DoorDash, nothing. And I'm going to post a story of all the foods we made this weekend. And they were really simple. We did veggie patties on Friday. And yesterday I made a mac and cheese. Oh, Jeff did a ton of yard work. That's right. He planted grass seed. We made, yesterday was a blur. I literally went to bed unintentionally at 7 p.m. Yesterday. I fell asleep on the couch. Jeff let me sleep for, hour and a half, 2 hours while he made nut milk. Let me tell you, this is in your 30s. And then he put me to bed. And I slept for 11. My Oura Ring said I slept for 11 hours and 11 minutes. And I took the extra sleep as something definitely in alignment. So, and then I have a glow filter on today. It's really not the sleep. It's the filter. But yeah, it was really nice to just eat at home and I can tell you, I feel better. Sundays I'm usually okay, I got to sauna a little bit extra, drink a couple extra juices, flush it out. And today I made these. I'll definitely post a reel. Jeff had to help me with the videography behind it. But these spaghetti squash boats that you did Mayoko's cheese, palmy, garlic, and then you roast it all together and you mix it up. It was so good, and fresh basil. Definitely will post that. But okay, I want to get to the main point because tonight will be a little bit shorter. Our hormones literally start in our head. And I know as a practitioner, and I feel as a woman, that sometimes we can feel like our hormones and our health has just gotten away from us, right? So I healed my autoimmune conditions in my body, and I met the owner of O'Brien Pharmacy because intuition was Jen, you need to learn about hormones. Jeff said he knew this was happening all along. I was I need to start helping women with hormones, but all of the hormone replacement that I see women taking, they're coming into my office with terrible side effects from hormone replacement. But my intuition was there's another way. I remember talking with a couple pharmacists, and they were I don't really know too much about this, but I know who you should talk to. So I got in touch with O'Brien Pharmacy and their owner, and we started working together, just really me learning from her. And I started getting clients on therapy, and then lo and behold, I was next. And I ran my labs for the first time in a long time. This was last summer. And I was oh, wow. I was under a lot of stress with some business decisions that I was going to make at the time. And my body was screaming this wasn't in alignment. It took me a long time to figure out it wasn't in alignment. But you live and you learn. And I was like, how did I get from this place of having healed 8 chronic and autoimmune conditions in my body to this place of now my hormones were out of whack? Several years had passed and I was in my early 30s in premenopause. And I'm like, oh, well, it's unfortunate. And I'm like, how am I going to be teaching about hormones and working with women with hormones if I don't have mine in line? So I just surrendered and went through the process. And as much as the food, the supplements, for me, the bioidenticals really helped me only in the form of troches. Don't put hormones through your liver. Don't be swallowing hormones, oral creams, pills, pellets, shots, whatever. There's the I Am Woman course, self-paced option for that if you want to learn more. But let's talk about the energy behind your hormones. And this is a true story. I was laying in bed the other day and I'm like waist deep in the hormone content that I'm teaching in this program and loving. And I could hear, this is something that I offer the women that I work with. When you heal the feminine energy field, you heal the female body, and vice versa. When you heal the female body, you heal the feminine energy field. Why is this so important? As women, we can feel at some point in our life, whether it's the way we've given birth, the medicine we've chosen, where we send our kids to school, we have sacred feminine remembrance in our body. And for me, when I sat across from my endocrinologist mansplaining to me that I needed to cut my thyroid and my uterus out at 21 years old, he's like, well, just give you a couple of years and have a kid and come back and do all this. He was also the idiotic doctor that my dad finally walked away from and started to get better. Ironic. But he was mansplaining to me that this is just genetic and there's really nothing I can do about it. And I had literally no idea I didn't even know what a TSH was at the time. I wasn't even in nursing school yet. And something in me was like, Jen, don't listen to that. Like, we all have, especially as women, this connection to our remembrance, whether it can be in all our education, our medical system, our religious systems, like things in us remember how it used to be for us. And when I say our hormones start in our head and we can heal the female body by healing the feminine energy field and vice versa, let me break it down scientifically for you. So when we're living with a busy mind, stressful thoughts, we are endogenously creating more cortisol. But here's where it gets really, really cool. And I want to talk about the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis tonight and break it down energetically. If you want the science and you want the deep, deep science, you can join my course. That will be coming out, the self-paced version in May. We're in the live course, registration is closed. And podcasts and blogs, we're going to talk about this. But energetically, you have control of your hormones. Hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis. So what happens when I say hormones are in your head? Your brain is literally creating how your body creates hormones, how it lives, how it operates. So everything is started with an action potential. The hypothalamus sends a signal to the pituitary gland that sends out a chemical messenger, which is just a hormone, to your ovaries. That's the HPO axis. You have an HPA axis that governs your adrenal glands. The HPO, you have an HPT. Your hypothalamus starts as an action potential, which goes to the pituitary gland tells it to make a hormone. And then the pituitary gland sends that hormone to either your ovaries, your adrenals, your thyroid, your parathyroid, amongst other endocrine glands. But let's back up a second. So that is all well and good. But an action potential in your brain sends the signal to the pituitary gland about what hormone to make. Where do action potentials come from? This is where science gets a little gray, but we know from quantum physics that action potentials come from thought, come from energy. So that is either, and this is where we take ownership of our divine creatorship and our co-creation as humans. So when we have a body, when I looked at my labs for the first time in years, they looked like shit. My TSH was way out of range. My hormones were way out of range. And I was like, what the heck? I've like healed my autoimmune stuff. I'm feeling good, but I knew something was off. And I'm like, I went back to that that constricting, that place we've all been in with our bodies of like, something's just wrong with me. I'm the exception to the rule. I actually can't heal. There's just something wrong and faulty about me. But think about it. I was going through this really stressful time with business that was upregulating my cortisol, downregulating my progesterone. My progesterone had like pretty much flatlined and my thyroid was out of balance, right? A lot of that, other than I brought in some bioidentical progesterone and like my whole world got way better. Other than that though, like think about the action potentials going from my energy field, thinking I need to do this. I have to do this. My body was screaming, Jen, this isn't in alignment. And it was at first. And there's long stories behind this, but just use this as an example. Like you're in stress. Your body's like, hey, I'm in stress. I'm not in alignment. Something's going on. And you're like, I just have to keep going. I just have to keep going. And there's an interference. So your hypothalamus receives an action potential from your thoughts, your energy, or from divine energy, something. So we see healing happen in two ways. You've all heard the stories of people meditating, like Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreats and his work and his research of like people are literally in these energy healing meditations, and he healed his spine without surgery from energy healing. It's crazy. It does happen. I'm a good belief in both. Like we gotta do all the physical things and we gotta do the energetic, and the two work together because we are a physical body and an energy body. When it comes to your hormones, when you feel like something's off, whether it's your thyroid, your sex hormones, your adrenals, action potential, your thought, divine energy, whether you're thinking it or whether you're praying and receiving healing, starts in the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus goes to your pituitary gland, tells the pituitary what hormones to make, which go to the body. Most of the time, on just the physical aspect of things, say we take like the human mind and your sovereign governance over your own body. Physically, where we get into issues is when there's inflammation that throws a wrench in that communication network. So, for example, you can have Epstein-Barr virus that's inflaming things. Maybe it's in and living around the thyroid that's dismantling the communication. Maybe you are on birth control, which sends a signal between the ovaries and the pituitary gland that says don't communicate, so you don't ovulate, so you don't have the FSH and LH surges, and that triggers the whole hormonal cascade. But remember, this is super empowering when energetically we can tap in, or when we can tap into the energetic phenomenon of what's going on. Is like our pituitary gland, our hypothalamus is talking to the pituitary, which is telling our body to make hormones. And what's controlling the hypothalamus? Action potentials. What's in charge of action potentials? Our thoughts, our energy, right? So when you get to a place within your body or within your life, our body is just a representation of our energy field at all times, even down to, I got a thermography scan 2 weeks ago and I got the results this week. It's so spot on. Oh my gosh, there's actually something I want to talk about with that. I'm going to go on a tangent. But on the thermography scan, it's showing like my right calf is hotter. Like a lot of parts of my right side, and Jeff was reading me the results before I met with the doctor. He was like, your point, I don't remember what he said, like 0.05 Fahrenheit degrees, like just reading it literal, and it was really funny to hear from him. And I was like, and I remember saying to him, I was like, yeah, I'm way stronger in my masculine energy, working on it. Oh my gosh, it feels so much better. I'd say I've shifted 30% more into my feminine energy in the last 6 months. Feels so good. My body loves it. My business and my life has not crumbled and gone to smithereens, as one would think, or our conditioning would program us to. But all of this thermography was showing me like right side is lit up, right side is lit up. Here's the tangent I want to go on that. The doctor literally said, he was like, do you have an injury? There's a place on my thermography on my right shoulder blade, and my massage therapist is obsessed with this part of my body. She's always like, you got something right there. On the thermography scan, he's like, do you have an injury right there? And I was like, it doesn't really bother me anymore. I think it used to. And I mean, it's part of, like, it's probably the worst spot in my thermography scan. And I remember an intuitive telling me, and it made perfect sense, you have a wound here. And when she told me that, I had just exited a dynamic with a person who when I would interact with their energy or be hurt by them, I could feel it in that spot. And like literally that physical thing, nothing ever happened to me back there. He's like, it could be a rib, it could be a subluxation. I'm like, see a chiropractor pretty often. Nothing ever happened to me there. Like an energetic infarct in my body showing up on the thermography scan. Like literally your energy field is everything. So right side is your masculine energy. Yeah, so Amanda, right body, left brain, because our energy crosses over in our brainstem. So on the left side of your brain, it's going to cross over in the brainstem, which is like kind of back of your head, neck area. But I count anything like chin. Basically, actually, that's not true. I count the whole right body as masculine. So right eyeball, right forehead, whatever is going on. And then inside your brain, just know your left brain is actually the masculine brain. It just crosses over in the brainstem. But yeah, right side of the body for the most part. So if you're like, well, that's my right eye. Is that it's in the brain? Yeah, it can get a little confusing. Okay. So if you have a question or that makes sense to you, put a little heart in the chat so I can understand we're on the same page and that the message, I was like, I haven't done it live in a while. Like, what do people need? It was like, remind them of the energy connection, the sovereignty over their body. I mean, people are in energy healing conferences and sessions healing their body through meditation and thought. Like, we can definitely, at least placebo effect is 30% on everything. We can definitely improve our hormonal cascade just through our thoughts alone. If I'm thinking, okay, I want to heal my progesterone, and I understand progesterone is a calming hormone. So I'm setting my intention on affirmations and calming thoughts. Like just that action potential alone to my hypothalamus, to my pituitary gland, is going to allow there to be more progesterone from the physical body having less cortisol. And then you could go deeper and deeper with that. So, hi Farah. Message received. Everything is on my right side always. Yeah, and that for most women, energetically and in our body with injury, even if it's in your left side, really comes down to the way that our society has been set up. Because long ago, our societies were matriarchal societies, like where the women kind of ran the show. And I'm not saying, I'm so glad that we have men, and I don't want to be the masculine. I don't want to answer the door at 2 a.m. when someone's knocking. Jeff did all this yard work and carried all this heavy stuff around while I got to be inside and work on my doctorate dissertation and a blog post. Like, I don't want to do the masculine stuff. Like, it just, no thanks. I like to lift weights. I like to do some masculine things, but our society is really disheveled and really uneven. And it's come from this fear, control, and we'll get into this another time. I'm learning a ton from Sarah Jenks and her mastermind, but she is talking about like even down to how like the original text of the Bible was altered to serve a more patriarchal masculine agenda. And I'm like, wow. So we'll get into that when I feel more prepared to talk about it. But just remember, wherever you're at in your physical healing, if you're only treating the physical signs and symptoms, and you're only looking at the food and the supplements and exercise and the red light therapy and the colonics, like you're missing half of it. Half of it has to be your energy body. Okay. So I'm going to lead us through like a 5-minute guided connection so we can all connect with oneness and tap in. And then I will do what's called a gallery reading, which typically leads into an individual reading. So I'll get like a feeling, a sensation, a picture, a spirit will come in, and I'll just start asking questions of like, here's what I'm seeing, here's what I'm feeling. There's already energy here because I have getting a pretty big frontal headache like I do. Perks of the intuitive job. By the way, you're all very intuitive. Everyone can do this. My hope is by me modeling it that you, ow, I hit my elbow. By me modeling it, it opens up the desire and the awareness that you can too. So a gallery reading, it can be anything from a medium reading to a medical reading to just whatever. I'm just the vessel, and God's energy is going to come through and deliver a message. If you feel like it's for you, I promise it is. If you're getting something and someone else is typing, I can take that, or, oh, that's me, it can be for multiple people at the same time. The spirit is not limited to our human ways that we would only be able to talk to one person about one thing. So, and I will do one main reading, and then we'll be back next week. I feel like I need to wade in. I haven't done these in a while, and usually the energy gets so strong, like I can't go to bed, and we got to be up early tomorrow morning. So I'm going to wade into this, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your Sunday evening. So let's connect to oneness. Let's connect our bodies just by settling into our breath. All we have to do is breathe and drop in. And if we could watch our blood work right now, just by closing our eyes and feeling our body and centering into gravity, we start to change the chemicals in our blood. And starting to breathe a little bit deeper. I can hear Jeff. It's making me laugh. And feel every single part of you relax. And taking a deep breath in, draw energy all the way up to the crown of your head. Starting to activate your crown, your pineal. When these two energy centers, just take a hand here and send energy. When these two energy centers are weakened, right here, that is where our hypothalamus or pituitary gland live. And it's first the energy field that weakens before the physical structure. I worked with a client with a pituitary tumor. I literally, like the first day I met her, was getting a reading for her, and I was like, I'm not a prophet and I'm not a fortune teller, but you're gonna heal and you're gonna be pregnant. And within like 2 years, within 6 months we cleared up the tumor, and then she was pregnant. And these are things, because the pituitary gland, they told her she would never be able to do. So just connecting with your crown, sending breath there. You're just thinking about your breath today, just opening everything up. So just think about your head opening. Now let's work lower. Think about your neck, your chest opening. Inhale, think about your abdomen, your belly, your solar plexus opening. Now let's work through sacral and root. Inhale, deep breath in. Belly button to tailbone. Exhale, clear it out. Just notice a little bit lighter, a little bit shift in the body. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. And use this time as an intention or a prayer. If there is a message or a question on your heart, just offering it up. I offer my body as a vessel, my mind as a channel, just to bring a message of hope. Only positive news, only positive healing and guidance to someone. I've seen someone journaling here. Maybe you're in bed or on the couch. And if this is resonating with you, please just put in the comments. I can take that or that part. And then if you want to come on video, I'll do a reading. And if not, I'll just keep reading and you can answer in the comments. So someone definitely has their journal out and they're by a lamp. You have blonde in your hair. I believe I know who this person is, but I want to offer this unfiltered. This is you. You're listening to this. You're just journaling, feeling really heavy. There's like a lot of black, like either you wore black clothes today, you wore black clothes yesterday. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're just showing little clues. And when you're journaling, the big question on your heart is like the future, and you can't figure it out. You have, so coming from the right side, like a grandmother figure, really light. It just looks like she has round glasses and like the softest, poofiest gray hair. It's like, I think of when my grandma would leave the barber shop and she'd have this perm, and I could just like touch her perm. Perfect, Amanda, you can take this. And there's 2 people coming through right now, so this might be for more than one. So this grandma figure is coming in. So as you're sitting and you're writing, it's questions about the future. There's a little bit of a dark energy, a heaviness, kind of a sinking feeling. Have you been having any digestion issues, like a sinking feeling in the solar plexus? This area feels a little bit unsettled. Who had a grandmother, or this is you, but I feel like this is a grandmother who is really enamored with guardian angels. Like maybe she had guardian angel like figurines, or she talked about guardian angels. Like this grandmother, and this energy coming through is like guardian angels. Like they really care about guardian angels. So if you can take that, just say in the comments, guardian angels, I can take that. Or grandma with really poofy, soft, like perfect short hair, I can take that. Brown glasses, I can take that. And you're journaling, you're here by the light, by the lamp. And she's bringing up the guardian angels. They like to give little clues. She's bringing up a little brown dog, like a fuzzy, it's a smaller dog. Maybe this is a dog that you've had that's passed, or a dog that she is reminding you that she knows you have. I can't wait to show you this guardian angel from my grandma's garden that sits in my office. Perfect. This all resonates. Guardian angels and poofy hair I can take. Beautiful. I love this. And remember, the spirit can be given several messages. So what's going to happen, because I think there's now 3 people that I'm reading for. Listen to your intuition. As I start to read, you will notice that you're actually getting the reading too. Like you won't need me here in a second. I'm just opening up. It's like a door has been shut and I'm just helping you like yank that thing open. Okay, so back to these guardian angels and this perfect poofy hair. It's like, if I could just like, her hair is like really fine. I have coarse hair, and the feeling of fine hair is just so soft and like silky, and it's short and it's poofy, but she just has the finest like angel feather hair. And she's definitely crossed over. There's a name that sounds like Thelma, Elma. Let me see if I can, names are really hard for me. Let me see if I can get this. And then I'll check the comments here in a second. I just got to keep going with this. And then someone also has like a black, like I'm holding this is a citrine stone. Who I'm talking to also has a black, like you hold like a stone like this. This one helps me keep my creative energy centers open. Okay, let me see. And there's an emerald green. This is the second time this grandma has brought up this color. So she's like emerald green. She wants to let you know when you are sitting there journaling about your future and you feel kind of a heaviness and uncertainty and anxiousness, like she's trying to give you something tangible, and watch for this to let you know that she's right there and you can actually talk through her. She's going to help you reach your angels. She's going to help you reach your higher self. She's going to help you say prayers and take that message, strengthen it to help it get to God. Okay, the green. Either she had some sort of green dress. I'm seeing like a long sleeve emerald green dress, or you have one, or you've worn one. Again, this message, you have this message. And it's almost like there's some sort of tying in the green. Like in the dress, like some sort of really like woven or lacy fabric in this. Okay. That green dress might be a symbol of something in your future. Like you might know, like this might come up later. You might like be picking out this green dress or wearing this green dress and realizing that this message will reach you then in the future. A lot of energy. And this grandmother, like, she's like, what is your question? And why am I not able to answer it? Like, she's like literally asking you to ask her. And she's showing teacups, like white ceramic. I think they're actually coffee cups, but they look like teacups to me. Like you're sitting there with, it reminds me of like the ashwagandha latte from Enjoy Pure Food. Like she's showing like what you're drinking. You're by this lamp. Like this is deep, deep contemplation. Black stone, emerald green color. It's showing to me in a dress. It can also be a representation of feminine energy and the guardian angels. And let me receive the final takeaway. Wrap it up. She's pulling back her energy. The dog is coming up. This is a curly haired dog. Like this dog has like compact little curls. And she's stroking your head and your hair. And she's right there with you when you're writing. And if you have been thinking about writing here at this, in this chair, on this bed, with this lamp, with your white mug, with, I think you have a black or emerald green stone. Both of those colors are coming up. This grandma is on my right side, so it's most likely from your paternal side, masculine. But it doesn't have to be. It could have been a grandma too who had a more masculine energy. But she's right there. And it's like, why is she showing me traffic lights? Green means go. Okay. Green means go. Yellow means caution. Red means stop. Asking your questions and literally asking for a color. Like you ask, like, Grandma, is this the right job for me? Green means go. Yellow means, and you can even put this on cards. So if you wanted to pull, okay, I'll come back to that. You can pull like three cards, shuffle them up in a hat and pull one and ask, and she's going to be right there guiding you. Also, when these messages reach you, you'll probably need some help trusting this process. Go back I'm going to post this replay on YouTube. Go back through some of the YouTube videos, or Jana's, the last live I did was actually on Jana Fat Girl's Instagram. I think it's posted on my grid. If not, just send me a message or go to Jana Fat Girls. We did the sound bath and I did a reading at the end. The person wasn't even live. And what this diagram that I was seeing is what they drew at 4:44 in the morning earlier that day. There's just enough of these like readings over the past YouTube videos that it's like going to help you build the confidence, and especially where people come on. Okay. Can you, who this is resonating for, put a heart in the comments if you can if the guidance feels complete, riding by the lamp, having the white mug, the guardian angels, and then asking your grandma questions that through energy or through the cards she can answer with a stoplight method. Let me know in the comments or just tap the hearts. So I want to leave this in a good place. My back's hurting. Oof. Ow. Okay. Emma, there's a lot. I see you just joined. This part of this, there's 3 people and 2 of them have come forward, and I didn't know you were still on here, but part of this was yours. And there's a really, really good, yes, Amanda, Allison, Emma, really, really good energy around your birth. And like the sacred space you're creating it. So side note for Emma and sharing some of your plan. Wherever you guys are going to put the birth tub, there needs to be like I'm sitting on a circular rug. Like think of circle, when for the energy healing certification, when we made a circle and it had the 4 elements, it had fire, it had water, it had earth, and it had air. like creating, you need to have something there starting to bring like portal in the energy. So I never would have thought of that. I think it's brilliant. So if you do that, let me know. Okay, let's pause here. And then when it comes to energy, when it comes to medium readings, when it comes to sacred feminine work, when you have questions, when we get off of here, go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram. I would love to. We were in a pretty good groove of this, and then we had a bajillion retreats, and I just didn't do these for a while. You guys were sending really great routine and common questions that I could answer about energy. And then I would sit with the question, channel in the information. The same theme tonight, we do a little bit of teaching, and then we connect with oneness. We open up, we do some sort of like 2 to 5 minute energy healing technique, and then we get into the readings. And just a reminder that this community, every single one of you who joins this, or you're like scrolling on Instagram, you're like, what is this? I'm going to click on this. You are intuitive and you have the same gifts and abilities I do, because as humans, we're not disconnected from the spirit. I've learned to work with it maybe longer, or maybe in a bolder way. Maybe you have deeper abilities. So in this community, just like Emma did, like, oh yeah, I can feel that for Allison. When you're going to be getting things for other people, or you don't know who it's for, I'll be reading and you're like, yeah, I feel that too. Or I'm actually seeing this. This is the place to share. This is the place to hone and develop your abilities. And the more that you connect with your abilities, you actually notice your physical body is more sensitive. So you're going to have to tweak your life a little bit to support it. And B, your body, as being more sensitive, also can heal so much easier, because you're going to know within yourself, like, what is leading you to healing, what is leading you to inflammation. And so honing your energy field, your intuition, your intuitive abilities, like, that is the path to freedom. That is the path to healing. So don't stop. And this Sunday night space, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Instagram, is a place for us to come ask questions. I feel really good about building this up, where last time we pretty much had, because you could bring 4 people on the Instagram screen, that one person would be getting a reading and they would just come on and give it, and then the other person would join, and then I could add in where necessary. So kind of like just hosting readings for other people was really fun too. So, because we're all connected to this oneness energy. It's crazy. One last story before we hop off. She's a friend now, and she gave me, I want to say I didn't know her at the time. I want to say my first reading, my first intuitive, medium, psychic, whatever you want to call it, reading. And I was really nervous because I came from a background where you only trusted ordained or religious personnel to do any kind of work like this for you and guide you spiritually. And a friend gave me her information, and I reached out to her and I texted her and I Venmo'd her, and I was like, oh God. And the information she sent, still no one has ever read as spot on as her. And oftentimes your first energy healing session, your first reading, or your first couple with someone will be the most powerful before you move on to your next person, because everyone has something to offer you and you're just collecting little library books from them. But anyways, so made a connection with her. She gave me the most powerful reading. I mean, she knew like my dog's name, where my dog would run away to, like all these really profound things. And I knew I had gifts, but wasn't yet connected with them. Like, she really, really helped me through readings, oddly enough. And then I hung out with her, I think 2 times total, and something activated. So you were activated when you were in the presence of other energy healers and intuitives and priestesses. Like, there's an activation. It's just an energy exchange. You don't even have to learn anything. You're just like, come on here, and we could sit here and stare at screens and breathe together, and you would have an activation. But anyways, she is, what I'm saying, the best in the quote unquote business that I've ever come across. Sadly, I don't think she does readings right now. Haven't seen her in over a year. Haven't really talked to her very much. The other night, I had a dream that I was with her. We were walking around. It was very simple. Her daughter was there, her mom, her sister. And the dream ended, and I woke up, and Jeff had woke up at the same time. And I looked at him, I was like, what time is it? And I grabbed my phone. It was 4:44. And I sat with it, and I was like, why was I dreaming of her? And guys, like, your dreams are not coincidences. We're going to teach all on this in the I Am Woman class. But like, what you're dreaming about is actually a message at all times. And one of my prayers lately, because it's just been happening, is let my dreams be portals and messages for other people to serve. And I've had some dreams that have been definitely for other people. So I was like, okay, I think this dream is for her. I texted her and basically said I had a simple dream, not much happened, woke up at 4:44. She sent me a screenshot of her pet that had passed away at 4:44 and saying that she'd been waking up at 4:44 every morning, really missing her pet, and like it really grieving this animal. And I was just like, well, that's all I needed to do. So it's so simple. So we can doubt ourselves, we can doubt our intuition, we can doubt our body's ability to heal. And like, all we have to do sometimes is open our mouth. Like novel. Everyone here has a gift. Everyone here has something to share. And I look forward to being back on Sundays and building this community with you all. So, sending love, sending energy. Send me your thoughts, send me your questions, and I'll see you next week.